Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Rick Plasmati. With me today is Neil Ryan, who's the Chairman and Communications Director for an organization called Keep Mansfield Beautiful. And tonight we're going to see what that's all about. Neil is a 16-year resident of Mansfield who helped organize the first Great American Cleanup of Mansfield in 2008. Neil operates Green Earth Communications, where he provides professional writing and communications services to organizations and businesses that want to go green. So welcome to Foxborough.
Thank you, Rick. Nice to be here.
It's nice to have you. Now, Keep Mansfield Beautiful grew out of the first Great American Cleanup. And it was, I know that in May of 2008 was the initial Keep Mansfield Beautiful Day.
Right.
So how did that come about?
Yeah, basically that came about, I used to drive through Mansfield with my wife and basically complain a lot about all the litter that I saw. And she got tired of listening to me and basically said, why don't you do something about it instead of just complaining about it? So I approached the town manager at the time, John D'Agostino, about organizing some type of community litter cleanup. And actually it was more about organizing a committee this turned into. And he mentioned to me that another citizen had the same idea, and this person worked, John Holliver worked in Brockton for the hospital there, where they had an annual cleanup in that area. So he had some experience, with organizing one. So long story short, we worked with the DPW and the town, and got the word out there that first year. And we were hoping to get about 200 people. We thought it would be good, and I think we ended up with over 700 people.
Yeah.
So as a percentage of the town population, it was roughly 3% of the town, which
Still
is
almost
pretty
triple
amazing.
what you expected.
So that was the first year we did it, and this coming April 28th will be our 5th.
Now, how did you market the idea to the residents of the town so that you had 700, 800 people come out, get organized, and go pick up trash?
Yeah. Well, it was, I guess, getting an all-out media blitz. I mean, being in the communications business myself, that helped, I think. We went on the local cable. We had things in the local newspaper, in the local, the government, the town bulletins, things like that. We, reached out directly to a lot of the community groups, the Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts,
That's a good idea.
the various athletic teams. We really tried to get the kids involved, because hopefully, in doing this, they're learning that, they shouldn't litter, and then, there'll be less of a problem in the future, hopefully.
The reason this is interesting to me is I was out for a long walk one day and wrote a letter to the paper about the same thing, the wide array and volume of things that I saw on my walk. So when I was asked to host this discussion, both my wife and I, our eyes lit up. So.
Yeah, I think most people, they see the litter, it bothers them.
And then they go away.
And they say, well, geez, I wish someone would clean it up.
Yeah.
And the sad reality is, towns today don't have the resources to take DPW people off of, projects and other things they're doing to pick up litter. So basically, in most cases, it just stays there.
Yeah. One of the things that I'm hoping to get from this program is that some of the viewers out there might recognize the need for such an organization here in Foxborough, and perhaps at the end of the show we can talk a little bit about that.
Absolutely.
How long was it in your preparation from when your wife told you to get on the stick and the big cleanup took place?
Yeah, it was probably the planning for that first cleanup took about I'd say 6 to 8 months. When we first met to when we and then we started meeting more frequently. And, and then each year it gets easier though, because this year we by this point we've just got it down to a science pretty much, and it's really all about the communications, getting the word out. And working with the DPW. Now that they're fully bought in, they know what the drill is every year, so that makes it easier.
Now, the first year you said you had around 700, 800 people. Has that number grown over the
Pretty much
4
stayed
previous years?
pretty consistent.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I think we had a drop off one year, but then last year we were back up again. So, and we're able to cover, all of the main roads in town.
That's yeah.
Yeah.
We'll talk about some of these little programs
Yeah.
like Adopt a
Spot, or litter busters.
Spot
Yeah.
and litter busters and things. Yeah, I want to talk about those. Now, Mansfield is a pretty big town.
Yep.
What are your goals of the organization? To stop littering, preventive communication campaigns, keep the town clean.
Yeah. We basically have our organization, Keep Mansfield Beautiful, is, we have an actual mission statement, which is we're a volunteer organization dedicated to cleaning up and greening up our community. So we really focus on 3 areas. It's litter prevention and cleanup. We probably do more cleanup than prevention. We'd like to do more educational things,
Yeah.
but we just haven't gotten there yet.
Uh-huh.
Waste reduction and recycling, and then beautification and community greening. So, things like landscaping and plantings and things like that.
Some of those projects around Mansfield are terrific.
Yeah. So
Just terrific. Okay, so now another question I had from reading your site, which I think on our screens we will periodically be putting the web address.
Yeah.
Is that a year and a half ago, Keep Mansfield Beautiful became a certified affiliate of Keep America Beautiful.
Right.
So what does that entail, and how did you go about doing that? How did you get certified?
Right. Well, first of all, I'll just back up a little bit. After we
Okay.
had the first cleanup, we said, great, now what? We had some positive momentum, and we wanted to, really keep it going. So we approached the town, the Board of Selectmen, to ask them to give us the blessing to create an official committee in the town called the Mansfield Beautification Committee,
Okay.
which we go by the public name, Keep Mansfield Beautiful, because it's a little more catchy.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. So we have 9 volunteers on this committee who we meet monthly. And we started doing that in September of 2008, I believe. And we wanted to become an affiliate of Keep America Beautiful because they are the national organization that, I don't know if you remember the ads from the 70s, what they called the Crying Indian ads, where they had the Indian.
It goes all the way back to them.
Yeah, and people start pollution, people can stop it. And I remember those ads very well myself. I mean, they really had an impact.
They were great ads.
Yeah. So, they've been pursuing these same goals, that organization, since the 1960s, I believe. So by being affiliated with them, we just kind of learn from their collective experience. They have grants available that we can apply for, and we actually immediately landed a couple of grants after becoming an affiliate. So interestingly, their headquarters are in Connecticut, but there are very few affiliates in New England for some reason.
I know I read again on your site that in Mansfield is one of 4 towns or 4 communities.
And the other 3 are cities,
which-
Springfield, Chelsea, and Lowell.
Lowell.
I'm not even sure if Chelsea is still active.
The
I know
first thing I
Springfield
thought
is.
of was the old Sesame Street. One of these things is not like the other.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it seemed, I can see how an organized approach to keep Chelsea or Lowell or Springfield beautiful would, take a lot of work, but probably make a lot of sense. But then when you look at it from the suburban side, it probably makes even more sense.
Yeah.
And it surprised me that there was really only one suburban town out of this, and in the whole state.
Yeah, and in other areas of the country, there are state affiliates. There's Keep Georgia Beautiful, and then under that there are 100 towns in Georgia that feed into that. So other states are much more on board with this. For Massachusetts,
I wonder why that is.
And personally, I feel like when you drive over the border into Massachusetts, you see the difference right away on the highways, just the amount of litter. Because basically we have the only people that clean it up are the prisoners. And they don't go out in cold weather because,
Really? No comment.
Just leave it at
We'll
that.
stick to keeping Mansfield beautiful.
Yeah, so I'm actually having a discussion tomorrow with people from Keep America Beautiful about asking them what's involved in getting a state affiliate established. How do you go about it?
So to get certified with them, was it just an application process?
No, it was a training process. They sent someone up. They taught us. We're required to do some things annually, like an annual litter index, where we literally drive through the town and we score different sections of town based on how much we see, and we do that every year, so you kind of can see whether you're making progress. Hopefully. And we should have done that before we did the first cleanup, because
no doubt,
because that first cleanup we picked up years worth of stuff. And appliances and tires and hundreds of tires.
It said 5 tons, I think.
Yeah.
It's like 2.5 elephants, I think.
Yeah, and each year, and since then it's less, because it's the fresh litter, so which goes to that education point there.
Yeah.
Which,
now, at the end of each of your cleanup days, you have a big party, or and it's been at Comcast Center?
Yeah, the Comcast Center very graciously lets us use their VIP tent. And it's usually the first of, they haven't had any events for the season, because we usually do it in late April or early May. So we're their first event of the season, and they come in, they set everything up for us, and we get donations of food from the local supermarkets. Stop and Shop has been a big supporter. Domino's Pizza, and we also, and money that we raise.
And that is like a big family type
so after everyone does their thing, you go home, wash up if you want to, and we go for a couple of hours. We have food and might have some entertainment, and it's just good to bring everyone together. And
at the end, you just throw the paper plates on the on the ground.
And they clean up.
Yeah. All right, this is what I want to talk to. What we just talked about is this 5 tons of litter and appliances and recyclables and tires and stuff. So that was the first Keep Mansfield Beautiful Day, or Keep America,
Great
American Cleanup in Mansfield.
Yes.
So 5 tons of trash. Where did it all go?
Well, we coordinate with Waste Management. They also help out. They donate a couple of trucks, trash haulers.
Yep.
So as volunteers are filling the bags on the roadsides, they just simply drop them, and Waste Management comes and picks up those bags. For the large items, tires and things like that, volunteers just pull things out to the side of the road. We had some yellow caution tape they could put on there. If it was a really big item, we just told them to note the location, and the DPW
what might a really big item be?
A refrigerator. I was off Stearns Avenue. We found a toilet in the woods. So.
Well, you never know when you're going to need one.
Yeah, you find some strange things out there. So and lots of tires were a big item.
Are tires recyclable, or what do they do with them?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Now,
and we also have bags. We have separate bags for recyclables. And Comcast again stepped up, and they volunteered to come out and pick up the green bags that are full of recyclable materials. And they took them back to the Comcast Center and recycled them. And they do that every year.
And now, promoting the recycle reuse concept, do you find that during the annual pickups that does most of what you pick up remain as trash, or is there a decent percentage beyond bottles and cans that can be recycled or reused?
It's hard to say exactly what the ratios are, and some people are more diligent about,
sorting
it. I mean, if you're picking up dirty trash, you just want to kind of get rid of it. So we give people the option of recycling, but we don't really say, you got to do this. The main, goal is to
keep it
get
clean.
it up, get it cleaned.
So there are a number of programs that Keep Mansfield Beautiful runs throughout the year.
Yeah.
I know you've got your cheat sheet there, and I've got mine here, and we'll show some slides as we go. But the first one I wanted to talk about is the Mansfield Litter Busters.
Yeah.
So from what I gather, a citizen in the town can notify your group, I'd like to be responsible for this street.
Right.
So, and then they become an official litter buster?
Well, yeah, I mean, the idea is, we've got the annual cleanup, and for about 12 hours, the town is virtually litter-free. And then the next day you go out and, there's, it's prom season and people are out driving around doing God knows what. So it's an effort to keep things clean on a year-round basis. So basically, it's kind of like an adopt-a-spot or adopt-a-highway that you might see on the highway, but it's on a local
Now,
basis.
is the Litter Busters campaign mostly individuals or families, and then the Adopt-a-Spot mostly businesses?
Yeah, I'll talk about Adopt-a-Spot. Adopt-a-Spot is more of a landscaping project.
Okay.
So Litter Busters is really focused, you can take the street right in front of your house. You can take, a community, a Boy Scout troop might say, we want to take a park, or whatever it might be, and they go out as often as they can. We don't have any strict rules.
Right.
We hope
Guidelines.
we hope they go out, monthly, let's say.
Yeah.
We're actually this year. I think we're going to try something in the spring. We're going to call it. We have something to the effect of a litter SWAT team. So instead of going out by yourself, because I do it myself, I do it on Route 106. And when you're out there by yourself, you feel kind of like, I don't know, exposed, and neighbors are driving by, and you're like, don't look at me.
So you wear a little mask.
Yeah, for whatever reason. It shouldn't be that way, but people don't feel comfortable being out there. So, but if you're out there with a group, you say, all right, the first Saturday of every month, we're going to go out for 1 hour. We're going to hit.
That's a great idea.
A high-profile area that, gets a lot of traffic that that everyone sees, versus some of these litter buster routes are subdivisions and things like that that are not kind of off the beaten trail, so they're not as important really. So we want to make sure we keep the main roads in the downtown area, in the shopping areas, keep those looking good.
No, did you have T-shirts? Is that on the 1 day a year? Does
everyone
get a T-shirt?
For the cleanup, we buy 500 T-shirts every year. Yeah. And the bright yellow, really, it's for safety reasons. Yeah. So people are on the side of the road, they're highly visible.
I saw some pictures where I think there was a group of Mansfield citizens painting a bridge or getting rid of graffiti, and they're wearing the yellow shirts, I think.
Yeah.
Which part is that? Just part of the general cleanup, or is that one of the programs?
That's a separate. That's a separate effort. I guess you'd call it community service projects. So we coordinate with. We've had some scouts come approach us, looking for projects. We've had, and then there's the Student Service Corps, which is at the Mansfield High School, an organization of kids who do community service, and they need 3 hours a month. So we've done some work with them where they've painted over graffiti on some of the local bridges. They've picked up litter for us. We're trying to get more actively involved with them and get them out there every month if we can.
Do you publish streets or neighborhoods that are in need of being adopted?
Yeah, we do through our, we have an e-newsletter that we send out that people can sign up through our website, sign up for that. So we will occasionally, we'll talk about the different programs, and we'll mention, here are 3 high-profile streets we'd love for somebody to adopt.
Okay, yeah. There's the web address that on that site you can sign up for the e-newsletter.
There's a link there. It just links to actually to send us an email and just say, please sign me up.
Okay. Now, what about this Adopt-a-Spot?
Yeah, Adopt-a-Spot really falls into the bucket of the beautification and community greening. So there we work with local landscapers mostly, as well as some individuals, to adopt a public area. It might be a median. It might be. It might just be a patch of grass on the side of the road that could be a lot or a landscaped lot.
Well, something that's regularly visible to people.
Right.
Get someone to adopt it, and then they do the landscaping, or they pay
plant,
for it, or.
And we give them a little sign of appreciation. And really, it's just the expectation is that they plant something. They beautify it,
Yeah.
and that they maintain it through the season, because that's some, if they just do something once and then forget about it, it doesn't have lasting value.
It probably makes a worse impression than had it just been left alone.
Yes. So, and the DPW doesn't have the staff to weed beds and things like that.
Yeah.
So, we also work closely with the Garden Club of Mansfield. They do a lot of the public beds in town.
Yeah, mention that in the
they've maintained for years. So we've kind of been able to take what they do and expand on it a little bit with the landscapers and some couple of families as well.
And then the downtown flower barrels. I thought this was one of the things on the site is that there are a lot of pictures that you can review. But the pictures of downtown there with the common and all, and we just saw on the screen right now, you see some of the barrels of flowers. It just is really has been successful.
Yeah, that was a great effort by a couple of people on our committee to really reach out to the local downtown business owners, because they have a vested interest, and that's really been our focus over the last couple of years is downtown. And there's still a lot more to be done there. But yeah, just trying to green it up a little bit, like make it more inviting that people might want to come down there and shop or and spend
with
some
all the
time.
malls, of course, the big Mansfield crossing and everything around here, the more you can get people downtown, the better.
Yeah, so we had, I think this year, the first year we did it, we had 30 barrels, I think, or 25, I think. Now we're up to 44.
Oh.
So we're hoping each year to grow it a little bit more, and really we do like a spring planting, so there's flowers throughout the summer, and then in the fall we do, that picture there showed the mums.
Oh, there's another picture of the common there with that sign.
And we also, one project that's not on our website now, because it was one of the first things we accomplished, was we actually raised some money from Covidian, gave us a very nice grant, and we bought some new park benches and trash barrels for the North Common, which is the one by the train station.
Black iron benches,
because we had these metal ones that were warped, and the green industrial garbage drums, that look like from a toxic waste dump or something.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just very unattractive, didn't say much about the town of Mansfield.
Yeah.
So
they're off-putting.
yeah, so we bought some new ones and some new,
there's a picture.
Total
Speak of the devil.
Yeah, I think it was total of 7 benches, and I think 12 of those, we call them designer barrels. So they're primarily focused on the commons and in the downtown area.
Is the town responsible for emptying them, or is your group?
The town. And the town, I should mention the DPW, we work very closely with them, and we couldn't do a lot of what we've done without their help. For example, that picture of the bench, it's got to be installed. And they pour up concrete pad, and it's got to be anchored. So there's some heavy lifting involved that.
Plus, it's town property.
Yeah, without their help, it wouldn't happen.
And so a business might contact you and pay $100 or something, and then they get a summer full of flowers and a fall full of
it's actually less than 100.
mums,
I think for 2 barrels, I think it's $80.
For 2 barrels, that's pretty good.
And it's delivered. You don't have to do it. All we ask in return is that you water them, and
It's
and
a good deal.
pull out any trash or anything that might get in there. So yeah, there's no labor on their end other than the watering.
Do you want to talk about the Route 106 mural?
Oh yeah, that's
Is that done? That's complete, right? No.
no. That's an idea at this point, or a proposal. And I should mention that's not specifically a Keep Mansfield Beautiful project. There's a separate committee made up of someone from the Mansfield Music and Arts Society, one of our members, the Mansfield Historical Society, someone from the art department at the high school. And the idea is to take the Route 106 underpass that was recently refurbished right by the train station, and it's now nice, kind of a white, clean slate.
It hasn't been started?
No.
Ah.
So the idea is to put up a mural that depicts the history of Mansfield. And you'll see if you go on our website, there is a sketch it's actually a local artist. He graduated from Mansfield High School.
Stupid me, I thought that picture was like a complete project.
No. So that, and there's some people disagree with the idea.
Really?
So the committee went to the Board of Selectmen. They did a survey over the summer. They got over around 600 responses, and the vast majority were in support of the idea. But so they presented those results to the Board of Selectmen, and the board basically kind of punted on it, frankly. They didn't want to make the decision.
That's interesting.
So it's interesting that the Foxborough board can make a decision about a casino.
Here it is on the screen.
But Mansfield, they felt that they wanted to give the citizens the right to approve it. So to be on the town meeting ballot in the spring, and it's basically a yes or no vote to give the green light to pursue this idea. And hopefully that passes, then the fundraising can start in earnest, because it's going to cost some money. And it's got to be, they got to have money for maintenance and things like that.
Yeah.
And one of the concerns people have is graffiti, that people are going to.
But they're going to graffiti anyway.
Exactly. And studies have shown, I mean, there's cities around the country that have murals, and maybe it's just a code among graffiti artists, but they don't
Who knows?
tend to mess up
That's an interesting
murals, because
that's an
it's
interesting
art.
point. Yeah.
Where if it's a blank slate, then they go about their business.
Let's see. Okay.
And the goal, I just mentioned, the goal of the mural really is to, a point of interest there, right at the entrance of downtown Mansfield, that will hopefully, bring people to the downtown area, because that's the big area.
And it's right at the train station, so people that are going to be on either side of the street, either to cross over to go to the station or on their way back.
Yeah, because right now the entrance into downtown Mansfield is, from the train station is very, like, you're not even sure that there's anything over there. So this will help guide you in that direction.
Now, when you mentioned how you talked about the upkeep of the mural and whatnot, I have a question that I wrote down. I know you have the trash barrel painting and the beautiful trash barrel beautification.
Trash can be beautiful.
Trash can be beautiful.
Yes.
And tell us a little bit about that. But I'm wondering if some of the trash can be beautiful cans, how long do they last, and are they touched up every year? Or?
Well, the idea there, and actually that was, we got that from another Keep America Beautiful affiliate. So that was another benefit of being an affiliate, is we learn from other people, that have done this before us.
Yeah, that's great.
And basically it was to take those green drums I mentioned earlier, many of which are, rusted and not very attractive looking, and give them to local people, artists or kids, whoever. And they had free reign pretty much to paint them any way they wanted, as long as they weren't, within community standards.
Right. And you gave them a clean, primed?
Yeah, exactly. So the DPW actually sanded them and primed them, and then people showed up on a Saturday at the DPW garage, and we supplied all the paints and brushes, and people just did their thing. Yeah. So the first year we did, I think, 22 or 25, and then we did another 15 last year.
And where are they positioned?
They're on the north. They're on the Commons. They're downtown. They're in the Memorial Park. So they're wherever, they normally would have been a regular rusted barrel. There's now, and some of them are beautiful. I mean, some of these people are real artists.
Some of the pictures, yeah.
I think the Veterans one there that was beautiful. And so far, the oldest now. This will be the third winter that they're out, and we haven't seen any problems with.
Oh, that's great.
And if they do start to deteriorate, we'll just
prime them, sand them, and prime them.
I mean,
that's great.
So that was a very successful program, and we hope to do more of that.
Let me change my page here. I have some end of the show type questions.
Okay.
But are there things in Keep Mansfield Beautiful that we haven't touched on that you'd like to present? Again, to viewers at large, or also to anyone who might be interested in getting involved here in our town.
Yeah. I'm just taking a quick look at my notes. Yeah, I should mention the other recent accomplishment was the purchase of new signs for the North Common, and now the South Common and the East Common, and they all match, and they're attractive looking
I
signs.
think we saw a slide of that earlier. They're
Yeah,
beautiful
so
signs.
we actually got money from there's a nonprofit gift fund in Mansfield that we applied to, and we got money for that. So a lot of this stuff is, you know, almost like low-hanging fruit. It's just that no one's ever
Just somebody needs to
paid
do
attention to it. You know? You know, the town doesn't really pay attention to it unless somebody complains about it, maybe.
Okay.
So, you know, it's been very gratifying because the initial idea was to get like-minded people together who care about these things. I know, and I knew they were out there, and now they're part of our committee. And you know, we've in the three and a half years we've been together, we've only had 2 people leave the committee.
Wow.
You know, and
That's
for
true.
you know, personal reasons.
That's great.
So it's been a great team. You know, a good team effort.
One of the questions I wrote down here, being witty, how does Keep Mansfield Beautiful keep making Mansfield beautiful? Like as far as sponsorship, or where do you get the funds from? I know you mentioned grants earlier in the show.
Well, we do an annual fundraising letter that really is tied into the Great American Cleanup of Mansfield, because that's our most visible event, you know. And I think, and we send that out to roughly 300 businesses in Mansfield. We got basically every business in town on our list, and that took a little research and data entry, but we've got all the information, and that's very successful. I mean, because we don't ask for a ton of money, you know, from each individual business owner, and we know that many of these small businesses, they get hit up every week for
I used to be on
the Boy Scouts and the Girl
basketball
Scouts and
booster
this and
club
that,
and whatnot,
you know. So I sometimes feel bad for them, but then we've also got the business park there at you know, the Cabot Business Park. So we raised about $5,000 last year through
Do most of the people
mailing.
you contact give at least a token donation?
I'd say it's you know, percentage-wise, it's not that high, but the amounts are usually, the lowest is like 250.
Oh, that's great.
And some give 500 and some give 1,000. So you only need a few of those to get up to.
That's for sure.
And in return, we give them, you know, we put them on the 500 T-shirts. They're listed on our website. We actually are hoping to get a rotating banner on our homepage with for the high-level sponsors to give them the
wonders of
credit that they deserve for supporting us.
That's a good idea.
And the other money comes from the you know, grants through Keep America Beautiful. We got a $2,000 grant this year to do a project which is right outside of the Mansfield Bank in downtown Mansfield. There was a small plot of land that had some flowers and a trash barrel there, and basically DPW like tripled the size of it, and we were able to donate a new park bench and a trash barrel and a nice tree, a plum tree. And then the garden club's going to go in the spring and plant all the flowers, and it just, you know, it just looks 100% better.
That's great. Now, the programs that we've discussed are ongoing programs.
Yes.
Are there any new things that you're going to be doing in the coming months or year?
I think, you know, we're pretty much maxed out. We have, what we try to do is have one big beautification project that we're working on. And that is still in progress, and we got the first phase of it done last spring, which was to beautify the entrance to the Mansfield Recycling Center, which is on Route 106. The Mansfield Green, it's called. Yeah, so there's a chain link fence, and you can see all the dumpsters when you drive by and all that. So we're trying to kind of shield it from view a little bit. So we planted 45 rhododendrons and mountain laurels in the spring. And local Guarini Landscaping donated their time and people for pretty much a whole day to do that for us. And then this spring, using money we raised previously, we're going to build a big island in front of that. It's going to be landscaped with a rock wall, and and so it'll really just kind of dress up the whole area.
Mountain laurels are great.
Yeah. So then, you know, so after that's done, you know, we'll set our sights on something else. Maybe something around the Fulton's Pond area.
Now, if someone or some group in Foxborough wanted to start a similar project, I assume you would be happy to take
Absolutely.
calls.
Yeah.
But what are some of the challenges that they might face?
Well, I should mention first off that a couple of high school students from Foxborough did come and speak to us a couple of years ago. And they did organize a litter cleanup in Foxborough. I think it was either 2 or 3 years ago. I don't know how big it ended up being. I think it might have happened again the following year.
Okay.
But I don't, again, I don't
recall
think it's a
that.
town-wide thing
No.
that gets a lot of publicity. So really, I think, the challenges are, I would say, if you're going to start out and try to do something like this, you've got to get the buy-in from the town from the outset, which I can't imagine any town would be against this.
Yeah.
What, you want to give us
volunteer labor to
you want to
make
give
it-
us free labor? Okay. So obviously talking with your town manager and board of selectmen, get their buy-in up front, and then really, getting the word out. I mean, just the publicity through channels like this. It's not difficult to do. Obviously with the internet, Facebook, all that kind of stuff,
Yeah,
it really
yeah.
makes it. We have a Facebook page as well. It's very easy to get the word out now.
Looking back since 2008, coming forward, where do you feel the biggest accomplishment has been?
I would say, in the area of litter cleanup. I mean, that's kind of the obvious one, I guess. Also, I think just kind of raising awareness in the town that, and maybe a little sense of community pride.
Yeah.
That, you know what, this is a nice town we live in, but we've got to take
Gotta do
care of
something
it.
about it.
Otherwise, it's not going to be a nice
Yeah.
town to live in. And also, we, trying to get work more closely with the businesses and let them help them understand the relationship between the appearance of things and people's likelihood to stop by their business. I mean, some of the businesses do a great job. They landscape their properties, they clean up
Right.
the trash, and
Yeah.
others, frankly, you drive by and there's litter in front of their business, right in front of their door, and you say,
it's
I
surprising.
don't get that, but so we're working on that.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
So it's got to be a great sense of accomplishment.
Yes, it is. It's very satisfying because
Yeah.
I do communicate. I write for a living, so there isn't a lot of tangible results other
Right.
than maybe words on a page.
Uh-huh.
But when you drive through town and you say, "Oh, geez, there's that bench we bought. There's that new tree, or that's all cleaned up." It is gratifying to drive around and see it.
Well, all right. So that's our show for today. Keep Mansfield beautiful, and hopefully it will prompt someone to keep Foxborough beautiful.
Yeah, I should mention, it's in closing, but that is our hope, is that, what we've done in Mansfield will spread to the surrounding towns. I know that Norton is actually going to have a litter cleanup this year on the same day as us, and I think we may even be having a joint celebration at the Comcast Center. So, we're hoping that, the litter cleanup and other projects don't stop at the town line.
Yeah.
And eventually it goes statewide.
Oh, that would be good.
That would be good.
All right. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Rick.
It's been an enjoyable program.
Thanks.
And I'm Rick Plasmati, Neil Ryan, and we'll sign off. Thanks very much for watching.